If you're out there asking yourself, is this real? Did they really sell these many books? You're asking the completely wrong question, right? Like that is, whether it's real or not, like you are missing the point of what occurred. The amount of books sold is almost secondary to what actually happened and we actually experienced.
What was that? Welcome back, everybody, to a very special episode of Affiliated. If you're like anyone else on the internet, and like us here at ClickBank, we have not stopped talking about Alex Hormozi's, or what was it, the 100 million money models launch over this last weekend. So we decided just to corral everybody here who cannot stop talking about it and keep talking about it for you. So I've brought together the best, the brightest, but they were all out. So we've got everyone else here.
Yeah.
We've got the person you know and love, Kyle Kostecka. Thank you.
Woo! And I'm just going to take a moment and say, before you introduce everybody else, we need to introduce you. Because today we don't have Thomas McMahon. We have Thomas McMozy, right? Thomas McMozy today is going to be joining us. And that's hence the reason we all have these beautiful clearing nasal strips to help us out.
I know, we wore these as a joke. And I was like, oh, this actually
so many comments.
works. Yeah.
So many comments.
It's like, I feel much better about it. Yeah, it's nice. This is good. And we've got Cam Forey and Kyle Meredith. Kyle Meredith, I think, spent the entire weekend watching this launch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to think. I did. I did.
Yeah.
Yep, I was there.
So I'd love to kick it
And my
started with
Monday.
you, Kyle. So, like, you've watched this whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's break down what it did and your some quick thoughts on it.
Yeah. It was very quickly set a world record for the fastest selling nonfiction book in history. The previous record was 2013, Spare by Prince Harry, sold 1.43 million copies in the first 24 hours. In 2 hours, that number was surpassed by the $100 million Money Models launch, and they ended the first 24 hours with 2.917 million books sold.
Wow.
Oh, that was a good whistle. I wish someone could do a better whistle.
That was a whistle.
I tempted. Oh, I should have practiced beforehand. Nope, not good. Well, anyway, you get the feel. We'll edit that with a better sound effect.
That's
Continue,
impressive.
Kyle.
Yeah.
That's very impressive. Sorry, we made that really awkward. So, a ton of books. We just quacked that. A ton of books, Kyle.
Quack ton.
Yeah.
I'll try and make sure not to
yeah.
add any quacks.
Also, Cam, you've been on the back end of some businesses selling books. Like for perspective, for people who are like, that sounds like a lot. Like, what is that kind of scale over a 3-day period?
It's unthinkable. I've never seen anything like it. I'd never have done a book launch like this where you're trying to sell a lot of books in a short amount of time, but have run many book funnels. And over my whole career, I still haven't sold anywhere near as many books as he sold in a day, which is sad.
And impressive. Inspiring. We'll call it inspiring.
Yeah, we should clarify. It was 2.917 million in 24 hours, but the whole cart open period was a 63-hour window. And the last counter that was live showed 3.63 million.
Now, for the doubt, like, is it worth doubting this? Like, there's lots of commentary on this on the internet, right? People are like, well, these numbers don't seem to math. Like, how does this work? A lot of people, including some of us, are putting together different spreadsheets and trying to break down the conversion rates and the number of attendees and all this kind of stuff. Like, do we think he actually did that amount, or is there some marketer doing marketing things here?
I think there's likely marketing math, but I think what's important to keep in the perspective here is Alex Hormozi's been on the map for years.
Yep.
He's not going to run a high-risk regulatory action against him. So do I think that he sold 3.63 million books in 63 hours? Yes. Do I think it was to 3.63 million individuals? No, there's not a chance. Yeah. So it's marketing math and how you get to the 3.63 million figure, but it still counts for the world record, despite definitely 3 million people didn't purchase.
You're talking
the
to the bundles that he sold, right? So instead of selling a typical $6,000 product,
which maybe we should frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to break that down? Or someone want to break
Before
that
we
down?
go into that, I think the one thing, if you're out there asking yourself, is this real? Did they really sell these many books? You're asking the completely wrong question, right? Like that is, whether it's real or not, like you are missing the point of what occurred. The amount of books sold is almost secondary to what actually happened and we actually experienced.
What was that?
Well, let's have Kyle break down some more numbers and then we'll circle into it. But I just think that's what's really important because we get a lot of hate out. I've seen some hate, some people going, there's no way. Or for some reason trying to dissect the merits of the Guinness World Record, which I'm like, oh my gosh, like please find joy in your life, whatever's going on. Like buy a dog, I don't know, maybe get rid of your cat. That's what's happening.
Who needs a cat?
We'll talk about that later. Yeah. But yeah, break down some more of the numbers because I think that helps people understand the commentary as we delve into it deeper.
Yeah, quickly you can kind of start to see where the math goes because on his front end sales page he had 2 CTAs. You could buy a single book for $29.99, or you could buy a bundle of 200 books for $5,998, and that's still being sold to one person. But that's the front end. There's the two different purchase options. On that one book funnel, he has an order bump on the order form for another 15 books for $449.85, and no upsells in that funnel. On the $5,998 price point, he has a 800 book upsell for $3,000 today, and then 5 more installments of $3,000 over the next 5 months. So effectively an $18,000 price point. So he could have his best customer in that funnel would purchase 1,000 books from him.
Okay.
Let's talk about why someone would want 1,000 copies. Because the idea was not to buy 1,000 copies and have 1,000 copies.
Didn't we end up like 500 Ask Gary V books in the office at some point?
Probably.
Yeah.
We helped prop
we
up
did
a
have
launch.
boxes of Gary V books. Yes. Yes.
So I think one of the most fascinating things about this launch is it really broke the traditional affiliate model of launches. So in a traditional affiliate launch like this, which would normally be a high ticket offer, so the $6,000 or $18,000 offer, what Alex would do is he would reach out to all of his friends and anyone he knows that has audiences, and he would ask them to support his launch. And so what that would mean is you go, you promote this to your audience, you send people to me, and I'll pay you somewhere between 30 and 60% of the revenue. And so affiliates are like, that's great, I want to get paid promoting Hormozi. What he did is instead of saying, hey, why don't you go promote this to your audience and I'll pay you, he said, why don't you buy all the copies of my book and give it to your audience for free and I'll pay you nothing. And he managed to get people to do that, which is really fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. And the way he did it, I think, is super significant because I think we said we have these bundles. But how did he position it, Kyle? Did he say buy a crap ton of books? No. What was the way that he positioned how people bought the books?
It was through donation. Donate 200 books to other entrepreneurs, which was really 199 books, right? But donate 200 books to other entrepreneurs who also need it, which means somebody that bought 200 books was going to go do lead capture for acquisition.com, for Alex Hormozi's brand, which was part of the genius here. And he's still going to make money on those because the free book the book itself is $0, but if you go to the order form through any of those, if you're watching and you want to get a copy of the book, it's not going to be hard to Google and find a link for somebody that has 200
hundreds of books they're trying to give away.
Yeah. And if you
It's
go
a great
to the
lead gen funnel for these people who bought the 800 books, right?
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I was, hey, comment X for the book, and they're getting into the lead gen funnel.
Or vendors or bonuses for your audience, right? Hey guys, I got us 500 copies of the book. Everyone in the mastermind, don't worry about buying it. I got it for you. It's this great sort of act of goodwill for your audience or for your clients.
Yeah. And it's really smart on Alex's part too, because he's still going to charge shipping and handling on those free books, which means he's likely covering at least a very nice chunk, if not the whole, of the cost of the book and the cost of shipping it, but somebody else prepaid for the book itself at the close to the full $29.99.
And to be clear, too, they're not just getting books. If you buy the 6,000 package, what are you actually getting?
Yeah, there were 12 additional individual playbooks. These involved everything from running ads to branding and a bunch of different launch strategies. For people that bought it during the live, they were also getting an additional book called $100 Million Launch, which broke down how he did this whole launch. And they were getting an AI that was trained by Alex Hormozi doing an in-depth analysis, I think with 226 different companies through the lens of the money models so that he could produce an AI for people where they could ask questions and dissect it the same way that Alex Hormozi would have in person.
Yeah. Yep. And then wasn't there even like other tiers depending on how many books you decided to donate? And donate packages, there would be other bonuses like access to his team, access to certain review, right? And
Group
it almost
calls,
sounds like
one-on-one
we're
calls.
ascending a value
Exactly,
ladder.
yeah.
But no, guys, we're just asking for more donations. When NPR meets DR, we get a Hormozi massive launch and break records.
Yeah,
So-
his effectively $18,000 upsell was access to virtual workshops, which is typically what his high ticket is that he sells today.
Wasn't it 2 calls with him too?
Well, I don't remember that part.
I thought it was with like his team, like his CMO.
It was direct access to his director suite.
Yeah.
And to him in Layla. But traditionally with his workshops, they are in person at the acquisition.com headquarters based in Las Vegas. And if you bought access, you would be able to bring any number of people from your team that you want, right? It's up to you to fly them out and you're covering all the cost of that, but in-person interaction and actually going through the workshop in real time, that's what you were really getting access to. This is a virtual version of that, which is why the price point is a lot lower. But the value, they're trying to deliver the same value.
Now, I think one thing that it's important about that donation aspect and this idea of donating books, which I know you mentioned earlier, the tax side. I do want to mention, we'll talk about it in a little bit because I don't think the IRS is going to agree with Alex's stance, but
No.
so just I wouldn't think that's a write-off. But one part that I think is really substantial about that, and Kurt Malley did a great job dissecting this, Cal. How did he do his price reveal? Because I thought that, I will say this is one of the actual like pitch portion. I felt like this is one of the most interesting and impressive and timely things that he did was how he reversed and flipped the entire pitch process on its head and completely subverted people's expectations by the time he got to that point and totally contributed, I think, some of the virility and how fast this scaled.
Yeah, when he was initially revealing it, he was slow rolling, using this is valued at, right? This first playbook is valued at, $4.99, and then you have 11 more playbooks that are coming after that, and then you've got the AI, and so the collective value, he's like, and I could easily charge $129,999 for this, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to charge $59,999. And with that, you're going to get, and he would almost go back through the pitch, and then he'd get to the same spot, and he's like, but I'm not going to charge you $59,999. I'm going to charge you $29,000. And he kept doing it until he got to the actual price point that he was selling it at, and then back into the
Such a
value
good deal.
ladder.
It feels like it's free at that point.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is because it got to a point of this idea of buying books for value, he was able to essentially say, I'm not going to charge you anything. Just donate books, right? I want you to donate to a cause and a mission.
The more you donate, the more you get.
Yeah. So it's one of those things I think that's really interesting. So you're subverting the expectations. Everyone's like, I know what he's about to do. I'm just waiting for the price. But then being able to flip it on its head and say, actually, I'm not going to charge you anything. Now, you are going to get charged something, but you could say that when you reframe what you're buying in a certain situation. And then, but then I think what's important is why did that work? Right? Because these are smart marketers. For the most part, entrepreneurs are buying that. Why did that work so well when we knew they weren't just donating books? But what about it changed that? I'm just curious what you guys think. I have my thoughts because I think it's really interesting. And I'll pair this to some cool cult stuff because I got to be on brand for that.
Yeah.
It's always there. So.
You can see you building the road to as you're doing it. It's like, okay.
Like, what do you think about that, Cam?
I think one of the things that made this launch so successful is it happened over 40 some odd hours, but really this launch
63.
was 63 hours, but this launch was 5 years in the making, right? You look at the commitment to creating and providing value for free over the course of the last 5, 7, 10 years that Hormozi's been engaged in. It was a no-brainer, right? At a lot of these different price points, and there's a lot of integrity in pricing, right? Like it really costs a ton of money to get access to Alex. It really costs a lot of money to get access to his team, and he has a lot of price discipline. So when it came time to offer these products at these prices, it really was, you had 63 hours to get access. And so there was a lot of value created over the last 5, 8, 7 years to get there. And then the other piece that he did is he had real scarcity, right? In the marketing game, there's a lot of false scarcity, countdown timers, launches that end on Sunday, and then nothing happens. The pages stay up and people can buy. But he created real scarcity. If you didn't act in the time frame that he had set, I know you were looking at the pages, refreshing pages as the launch was closing.
How quickly it went down.
They took things offline the minute they said they would. And so what that does is reinforce moving forward. Every time Hormozi does launch, if he says he's going to end it, he's going to end it. And so you're teaching your customers to listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I love the callback to his last launch around the leads, 100 million leads, right? Where he did the whole webinar. People were waiting for the price reveal. He executed a masterful webinars. Everyone would highlight, and then he highlighted, and I've got nothing to sell you, right? I've got nothing for you to buy here. This has all been a complete value add, right? So in how he's dovetailed that into this launch where he is now having an ask. What I love too is like kind of the vitriol for some of like the haters out there who are kind of only looking at this in a nutshell and going, he's just a charlatan. He's just the next guru, just trying to take money from people and things like that. Like when you see that kind of reaction from people, I think it's inherent in the space and the make money online, kind of how to be an entrepreneur kind of world. Like it's naturally a polarizing thing because of all those other kind of people out there. Like, do those people have a point though? Like, did he do this any kind of wrong way? I know as marketers, we can look at this and go, wow, this was executed so well. He hit all these numbers. This is so cool. Is there an element of disingenuous? That's a hard word to say in the moment. But is there an element of that slimy, how to make money online feel to this at all? Is there any credence there?
The way I'd look at it is I think it comes down to the idea of the donation, right? That taps into something. Well, first I want to say, if you guys really want a really good dissection of because one part we're not talking about is Hormozi is masterful in the webinar model, just the way he constructs it. Any point you brought up, like he built authority, he tapped into authority, he did all the levers of influence that you need through a webinar. So just putting him in front of it was really impactful, right? So Kurt Malley did such a really good minute by minute breakdown of what portions and what things you're doing. I'd strongly recommend going and following Kurt and just reading through that. It's just a technical masterclass. But I think the other added bonus or benefits here is when he uses that donation model, it taps into something called, it's like, it's the moral hazard, right? We're all aware of what moral hazard is. If you feel like you could do something good, then you could be okay with something bad in whatever it might be. Because you put this mission out there of I want every entrepreneur or anyone in business to have this book in their hands, and we're a part of a mission of good. I don't feel as bad about spending this money to go learn marketing secrets, to go make money and blah, 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 the things that make people mad, right? At the end of the day, it's predicated on this idea that you're going to learn secrets that extract money from people that maybe we think that they don't want to give you. And they're like, they're just doing this, and that's that whole thing. And that exists, but I will tell you one of the reasons this launch I think is even bigger than you'll see, and I think it'll echo beyond areas that we're used to seeing a launch like this impact people, is because of that mission. He created this feeling of good, a basis of good that people want to believe, and if you decide to believe it, you don't mind whatever else might come along with that, right? In terms of business and tactics and the different things that sometimes the dark arts of influence that exist all around us, but we don't like when we could see it, right? So the people that are mad see that there was a marketing game here. They could see that that was being played with, and they want to be mad about it. And that's exactly what you want. And that's because I think the part of this that was so impressive, and that this is the other thing too, that a lot of big marketers, like I saw Perry write this, and I think somebody else did, like all the people that are going to try and replicate what he did, they're going to fail. They're going to fail so miserably. And one of the big reasons is he built, as you said, for 5 years, he's been building this authority, building this audience, to then create a spectacle. And that's what's really important. The Guinness Book of World Records, putting that online in a launch to create a spectacle of something that will be talked about well beyond the worlds of internet marketing. Like people are gonna be like, what's going on here? And you started seeing, like I opened up Facebook on Saturday and I was like, holy crap. Like I was just like, it was just littered everywhere to people I don't even know, just flooding
took over
there.
the internet.
Yeah, someone got my 200 books. Oh my gosh, I'm a part of a Guinness Book of World Records. It's like, it's taking things over. So I immediately shut down Facebook. I was like, well, I'll look at this on Monday. But
that's subtle.
But I think that matters. And the correlation I gave, or I wanted to obviously look at a weird cult example, but it was the Moonies or Sung Mung Yoon. If this is in the 1950s, he was a cult leader in the Unified Church. But what people realized got him really popular was they would do these televised mass weddings. They would get an arena in a huge space. They'd get hundreds and up to thousands of people, and they'd marry them all at once. And it was such this ornate spectacle. People had to react and pay attention. They're like, what the hell's going on there? And why do you want people to say, what the hell's going on there? Because you now have a podium to tell them and educate them. And Hormozi is very smart. He broke a record that had an altruistic motive for people. For people that don't know, they're not going to look at this as a skeezy marketer, right? They don't have that information. And so I think that's the anger that some people have on the internet. It's like, you need to know, you need to know. Awesome. We want those people there because they're just talking about it more. They're creating more attention, giving him a bigger podium to talk about and create your action. But the spectacle is the part that I think is really, really impressive about this, as well as you get to be a part of the spectacle. So we see things that happen crazy in viral nature on the internet all the time, whether it's a ice bucket challenge or some stupid thing that we all want to participate on, some dance move like this. And when you start seeing celebrities do it, you see it create all over the internet. It creates that authority. It creates that FOMO. It creates the idea of being a part of the spectacle that we all want to be a part of. The FOMO factor, right? That's why I shut down my computer, because I'm not a FOMO person. I was like, please leave me out. I'd like to not know what's happening. But that's still, so many other people, I think, gravitate towards that. So that spectacle paired with a good marketer and a mission that could just cascade and create reaction and response is incredibly impactful. And I think that's what I was so impressed with that he did, is he had the authority of the Guinness Book of World Records, the opportunity for us all to be a part of it. Who here in this room would like to be a part of like breaking a Guinness Book of World Records? Like, all of us would kind of want. That'd be pretty cool, right? So if you were a part of that launch, guess what you were a part of? Breaking a world record, right? You were a part of that spectacle. And that's what I saw on Facebook over and over again. They were like, I got the 200 books. Someone gifted it to me. Do you know what was happening with this launch, this record, blah, 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 blah. Everyone wanted to be a part of it. That, I think, is the secret sauce paired with all the work that he did that made it go different, right? Because this is different than the launch you mentioned before, substantially so. It didn't have the spectacle. That had a surprise, but there was no spectacle element. This was 100% spectacle, and those are rare. It's very hard to create that. But when it does happen, it's special, it's magical, and it creates changes in environments, or at least something that we're going to be talking about for, the Moonies, that was 1954, so for 70 years, this moment won't be forgotten.
I had a number of conversations actually with people, because I was really, I was pretty agnostic. I just wanted to capture opinions,
like a journalist.
favorable or unfavorable. And so I had a couple of conversations with people who had more negative reactions to the Hormozi launch, and I was just trying to pick their brain and understand. And what I learned is that there is part of a foundational element going back to the $100 million leads launch that he did, which I think was a 90-minute webinar.
Yeah, it was more of a traditional.
Yeah.
I think it was longer than that, but yeah, it was a traditional kind of like closed.
It was a lot shorter, relative to what he did this time. And so a number of the people that I talked to were going into, and they were expecting to learn something transformational in the webinar, in this webinar. And they came away disappointed and feeling like generally, and I mean, this was 100% of the conversations, this was the massive takeaway. It was like, I didn't learn anything new. And I was like, from my perspective, I was like, I think that you were missing the point.
Yeah.
The point wasn't that he was going to teach you, because if you want to learn something new, maybe you're going to do that when you read his book. He wasn't reading his book for you in the webinar. He was teaching a master class in how to pull forward $100 million worth of cash. And
You're
that
showing instead of telling, right?
Yeah. The whole webinar was the demonstration of the book. He was doing a $100 million launch, and he had his previous launches, because they were you were selling an individual book to an individual person. You could sell, 1 million of those, and you're going to take home $30 million. It's still not close, right? In this case, he had a different model, and that model allowed him to literally roll out a $100 million launch.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I want to highlight, based on what you talked about with 100 million leads, is a lot of marketers engage in behavior, and what they aren't aware of is that whatever they're doing, sort of the value exchange they're engaged in, their audience begins to expect that value exchange in kind. And so what I mean by that is if you get someone on your email list and you give them lots of great information in exchange for being on your email list, they start to expect great information in exchange for being on your email list. So it becomes very difficult to sell information to that audience, right? And so what Hormozi had done with the $100 million leads launch is sort of set this expectation that if I show up, I'm going to get all the value in exchange for my time. And so part of the brilliance of this now is he's broken the model, right? The way that people expected him to interact with them is now different. And so he set himself up for another giant, whatever it is he's going to do next, because now people are just sort of like, I don't know exactly what to expect. And so I have to show up and see, right? I can't ignore this, because he's not running the same playbook over and over again, which is very common marketer behavior. I did something, it worked good. I'm going to find a new niche, find a new vertical. I'm just going to do the same thing over again. And so even if it's subconscious, I think people start to know what to expect and you lose their attention. And he has broken the what to expect model between him and his audience here. And so whatever he does next, I know that people are going to be curious to see what he does.
Well, I think we'll see it over the next couple of months, because I think what this really did with this moment, it created attention he would never get in the models you described. Like, you have to break that model, because ultimately that's limited to people that find value in the information that you give. This created something that is well beyond looking for people that know that they'd get value in him. More of, again, what's happening here, right? I see all these people talking about this book. Like, wait till you're going to hear from people in your life that know nothing about Alex. They didn't know he existed. And they're like, have you heard about this thing? And it'll probably matriculate through the next couple of weeks, but that is substantial. I think that's really significant when you could transfer. And I like what you said, because his next big thing, he's going to be addressing an audience that is much larger than his audience ever was prior. It'll probably be 4 times larger, just based on this experience. So sometimes you have to be bold and build to break into something larger. But I don't know if I've ever seen somebody do it as rapidly as he just did without becoming like an internet or TV celebrity, right? Like, that's the most equivalent of attention.
He has talked
shift
about
I've seen.
chasing celebrity status, right? For the purpose of not legacy for him, as he says, right? But the celebrity status is what lets him break into exactly that, other verticals, other channels, and lets it become this personal brand in and of itself beyond just business. Now, all he talks about is business. He talks about that a lot, right? That's his thing. He's not going to move away from that, but it lets him tap into other markets if he can build that celebrity status and get people talking about it that way, which Guinness record, being a top bookseller, all this kind of stuff lets him have these titles now that are more transferable than, oh yeah, the guy with the nose strips and the mustache and the muscles, like who's that guy, right? It lets him break into more of the spheres outside of business or fitness where he's largely operated in.
So I think one thing so we kind of talk about, like, people are like, hey, good luck replicating, right? Like, and to be fair, but does that mean we can't learn? So I think
curious, like, if you were going to replicate anything from here, what would y'all do? Like, is it, because you can't look at someone at his level and go, ugh, where'd you even start if you wanted to replicate or learn from what he was doing? Like, how does that apply to someone in the, I'm just starting out, or I'm in that, I've made ClickBank Platinum, I want to get to Diamond? Like, where does someone in that phase of their business see what he's done and see what he's doing? What do they model from him in their daily business lives or lives?
I think the brand aspect. I mean, one of the things that I think was most compelling to attendees on the webinar was he took live consulting calls. And he was taking live consulting calls from the people who took the 800 book upsell, right? So they spent the most amount of money with him.
And how much was that again?
$18,000 total.
Yeah, $3,000 today. Yep, split pay. And he was calling them in real time on the phone, literally just his phone on the desk, calling them, asking them questions about their business. What's your top line? What's your bottom line? What's the problem? And then he would back into advising them on what they should do next. And he would, as soon as the call would end, he goes into it and he's like, you got 5 minutes. Top line, bottom line, what's the problem? Let's go. And then they would break it down. He would end it. He'd pick up he'd dial the next number, and he would do that on repeat. And you could watch, if you watch the ticker counter for the number of books sold.
Start jumping.
Yeah, and they would jump, and it wasn't jumping by 1. It was jumping by 200. 200. 1, 2, 4, 200. And that was what I think was really driving. He was specifically marketing at that point to the individuals he was really trying to get into his ecosystem. He was really trying to get the people to spend more money with him because they were going to get that type of value, that type of access.
And so what about that to someone, like what about that is what's something you think people should learn from in their like daily business?
Yeah, it ties right back into his business model. His business model is broad market. He wants to help any entrepreneur. Doesn't matter what type of business you have. It could be a brick and mortar, it could be online. And he knew exactly how to target his ideal customer. And he knew how to market in a way that would really entice them. And with those calls he was doing,
his ideal customer being someone that can afford $18,000,
is an
who has a
entrepreneur,
business at a
owns their
certain
own
level.
business.
Yeah.
Yep.
And has problems.
Yeah.
which entrepreneur doesn't, right?
Right.
Yeah. And his ideal client is probably somebody that's doing about $250,000 a month, right? In his pitch, the way the dude's positioning this, he's like, the 800 book option is for you if you don't have a question about the money, right? Like if you're not sure if you can afford that, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Right. And clear
If that's the
distinction.
price, you can't afford it, right?
Yeah.
Which is such a good qualifier, though, because who wants to be that person? I always love when people do that. It's like, oh, I'm just qualifying my target audience. No, you're shaming anybody that they're qualifying themselves, right?
Yeah.
Because then at that point, if you are like, man, I really like being a part of this. I'm seeing this cool thing happening. Do I want to be the person that says that I'm worried about this money? Right? In a room that feels like it's emanating success, no one wants to be the loser. So that's always just to put things out there, and you think of those marketing psychological terms, that's super key. I always love hey, if you're this person, this isn't for you. So don't worry about it, because no one ever wants to be that person, right?
Oh, you can. Where would you point your clients if they're going,
Yeah.
like, what do I even do with this information now?
Yeah, I think I would really highlight that thing we talked about earlier, which is there's what I think is a fallacy in marketing. It's like I built a business doing webinars, so the people on my list are webinar people. That's like spoken like gospel in our business, right? Like, I had a free plus shipping book funnel. My customers buy cheap books, and that's sort of the lazy way out. Because I think what he showed here is that doesn't have to be true, and it takes a lot of work because it's hard to master any one thing, right? Which is why I think people tend to do that. If you become a master of webinars, that becomes a thing you do, and so every time you need to make money, you just do another webinar. But at the end of the day, each one of these people on the other end of these businesses is a person. They have diverse problems, they have diverse interests. And so the willingness and ability to sort of step out of the thing that you're a master at and, become a new marketer in some way. I would say that would be kind of one of my big takeaways is you have a list of humans that are interested in learning something from you, but you don't need to stay stuck in that same model. And it's really valuable to step out as sort of what you're really good at now.
Yeah. No, I think, honestly, there's a couple things that stand out to me that I think are really, really key. One of the big ones, you mentioned brand. I think brand's really key. And I think Hormozi showed us how to build brands in this new era, because one thing we've seen is we have a growing emerging market where brands are up for grabs, because so much historic brands and historic things we previously were told to trust and care about have been completely eroded and damaged. And we're operating in this kind of muddled area of people are like, what is real? What do I trust? We have AI that's blitzing us. Scams feel like they're getting more severe. We're told not to trust anything all the time. Yet we see that people are desperately looking for something to trust. They want to be a part of something that feels good, that feels honest, and feels earnest. And those that deliver that are going to be the brands of generations to come. And right now, we're in a really interesting time because things are really volatile. We're in a very volatile place. When you look at media, you look at markets, you look at political economy, all sorts of things are unstable. And that could be met with fear, but it could also be, as Alex saw, great opportunities. So I think what he modeled here is, one, people are hungry for what that next brand is. They're looking for that figure, but to do it, you have to lead with trust and value. Because at the end of the day, do you have to buy and spend $18,000 with Alex Hormozi to get value out of this launch? No. You could spend nothing.
His free content is extremely valuable as it is.
Exactly. He's leading with so much value that's earnest, that's real, and feels different than everything you felt previously, right? I don't think enough people are acknowledging that humanity has felt disserviced by everyone we were supposed to trust, yet we're desperately trying to find somebody to make us feel good. Make them feel good. I think that's really important. In your business right now, if you're gatekeeping value, if you're not delivering value right up front that's earnest, that's real, and it's not going to sound like it's valuable, to lure them in only to be realized that I could have Google searched all of this, right?
Yeah.
And I think these are substantial things, real value. Really give your best and trust.
I'm glad you said that Google thing, right? Because some of the haters out there, if you will, on Alex, is what I see a common thing is it's like he's just saying the same thing every other business coach or book has taught over the last 100 years, right? Like you go read Richest Man in Babylon. Go read, Make Friends Who Influence People. Go read all these classics, and everyone's just regurgitated that same thing, since Jim Rohn and all this kind of stuff. And it's like they're not wrong, right? But also they're missing the point where how someone teaches something is sometimes just as important as what they're teaching, right? It's like, I can go find all the stuff that he's teaching from other people or other books or other things, but the way he packages it and explains it, like when I read the first one was Offers, right? The 100 million offers and then Leads. Like listening to those, I did learn a lot, but it was also very validating that the things I'd learned in 5 to 7 to 8 years of experience in DR was true. I was like, okay, I actually know more than I have a lot more confidence now. What I thought to be true is hearing him package it in these ways. It's like, okay, I'm on the same page. This is matching up to my expectations here. And the way he actually teaches and delivers things is very well done. Like I think that's what a lot of value comes into it. I don't have to distill through 6 other books if I go here.
Yeah.
Now, I saw a funny Reddit thread on this, and people are complaining like,
Does anybody do anything else but complain on Reddit?
But people are like highlighting. It's like, people aren't going to use actual business consultants anymore. They're just going to go straight to his books and his courses and think they can learn everything and fail, right? Essentially, when they could use a business coach or consultant. I'm like, yeah, they might. But also, if you're a consultant getting hurt by this launch, why is that the case? And if I was looking at that and going, okay, what can I learn from this? It's what you just highlighted. How do you be authentic? How do you come across and break through the noise? Learn from you don't have to do everything you did as a playbook, right? But lean into the parts that you can execute better on. And it's like, if you're just gonna get punched in the mouth and then take it, it's kind of on you if you're not adapting to the markets and adapting to the shifts in the trends. How can you actually lean into what people are resonating with and find that subset? I think the people that resonate with what Alex is saying, very few of them are going to be able to actually afford his time and services. He's actually making a huge market for these business consultants to service in a large way.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, literally the answer's in the complaint. All these other guys say the same thing. Yes. How is it so successful?
Yeah.
Because we always need to know the information in a way that connects with us individually. And even if you do know it, how do I apply it to now? How do I apply it to this situation? Like, it's hard sometimes. If we were all so good at doing things on our own, no consultants would exist.
That's looking at professional sports, right? It's like the fundamentals are the fundamentals. And when you watch someone grind on the fundamentals and actually get better as a professional athlete and make tens of millions of dollars, it's like they're executing that at a higher level.
And you see the difference in great footwork versus subpar footwork.
Yeah. And the pros that get to the pro level and kind of forget the fundamentals to a degree, and their careers usually aren't as tenured as the people that really grind it and hone it and get better and better and better.
Yeah. So, but as you're going back to that, I think, the authenticity to you, he's just proving the model that that's what's going to win going forward. Like, it really, really matters. And I think the challenging part about that is that's hard.
Yeah.
Like, to be real, like to communicate something authentically and connect with people, there's no shortcuts here.
Right.
And at the end of the day, when we want to get mad, and I think a lot of people want to complain, it's because the answer in front of you is not complicated. It's just hard, right? Like, simple to say, hard to do. Yeah. Hey, you want to make more money? Work harder. Well, that's really simple. There's got to be something. No, sometimes it's just that simple, but it's hard. And so that being said, if you're looking to change your business, I would immediately go, where are we being authentic and how are we building trust? And if you are seeing areas where you're eroding trust or you're not being authentic and you're seeing your business maybe acquisition getting more expensive, getting harder, your LTVs are reducing, that's the area you should focus on the most. And then I would, as I just loop in an AI, just as a quick mention, and then if you're using AI, don't lead with that because that could create too much authenticity. Ask yourself how to support authenticity and support a better experience to deliver value through AI, not cheapen and shortcut your way, because that's probably just going to lead to something worse.
And even within the branding aspect, there's Alex Hormozi's personal brand, and then there's the acquisition.com brand. And they are separate to an extent, right? He's always wearing the branding for acquisition, of course, but they are separate to a degree. And what he did a really good job of in particularly when let's put ourselves in the shoes of the average person watching this webinar. What he did a really good job of is positioning his team as subject matter experts. So it's like a keynote speaker for an event, right? Layla was the keynote speaker, his wife, who like runs operations for the company behind the scenes. She's a great marketer in her own right, sells her own products and stuff like that as well. And she was the keynote speaker. She spent a lot of time on stage with him. They were kind of forming this duo. And then I think Siobhan, I can't remember his president's last name, but Siobhan Srivica or something like that.
Srivica. That sounds like a
sorry,
cool
I'm
pizza.
butchering that name, but he spent a lot of time on the consulting calls as well that they were taking, and you could see the inherent value that he provided. And then Alex was building his credibility by saying things like, he has his own, Siobhan has his own portfolio company as well, right? And then he's talking about all of his different directors that you get access to when you buy that 800 book option. And so by the time you got to the end of it, you're like, yeah, it's not just Alex that you're getting access to. It's this it's like this whole stack of incredible ninjas that are specialists in so many different parts of the business. It doesn't matter what problem I have in my business. If I'm looking for some consulting, there's an expert on that team that's going to be able to help me. And so a lot of the consulting calls that they were doing were small, like they were husband and wives that were running a business together. And they were really just struggling to solve this specific pain point, or it was guys in their young 20s that were trying to figure out, how do I improve my close rates, or how do I get more people to show up to calls, right? And the framing, which is so easy for Alex to do on these calls, it was so evident. He has done these a million times, and he genuinely loves it because the positioning was like low-hanging fruit for him. It was the easiest things for him to solve. And if it's that easy for him to solve and you're going to get access to his entire team, you're going to be able to solve any problem that you're facing in your business. That's what I think most of that demographic is going to experience.
Yeah. One of the things that I want to dovetail on that is one of the things I really appreciate about Alex and their whole team is in the biz op, teaching people how to make money online world, the sort of default play is easy, easy, easy. This is simple, one simple funnel, one simple step. And the whole model is predicated on someone who's very good at the game, makes it look easy, and their whole value prop is this is easy. And the problem is this game isn't that easy, right? There was a time when it was easier. It's harder than it's ever been. It's more competitive than it's ever been. And nothing about Alex's message or value prop is this is easy. His thing is like, I am a very smart guy, and that's clear. I work harder than almost everybody. I hire the best. And so as a result, I'm the best. And so I make it look easy. But there's not even an implication that this is going to be easy for you. And in fact, he says, if you want to be in the room with me, you have to be ready to work, And so as a BDM at ClickBank, I would love to work with Alex's audience much more than most of the other BizOp guru guys, because there's never an expectation this is going to be easy. Like, it's very lucrative and it's a great game to play, but you got to come and you got to be ready to work. Like this is a hard game to win.
I mean, I listen to y'all's calls all the time, and the calls I've had over my career, right? It's like that's a lot of our qualification calls are exactly that. Is not just finding who has a good offer, but who's a good operator and who's a good CEO and who's a good executor and is actually going to do the work.
Yep.
And you're almost disqualifying like the people looking for the easy fix. If you're looking for the easy thing, you're like, okay, here's what you can expect. Like here's like, but I know all these top offers that you want to model. I know all the work that's gone into it, and I know everything they're doing on the back end, and you're not touching that.
Yep.
Right? I mean, look at these marketers who are upset that XYZ things happening in the market and they can't compete and all this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, that's happening.
Yep.
What are you going to do about it? Right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you need to kind of buckle up and really put the work in.
Well, and I think we go back, and Kyle said the key word too. You said he genuinely enjoys it.
Yeah.
I tell you this way, I think it's irrelevant if he does or not. You believe that he does, and that's substantial. Because if it's genuine joy and he's genuinely delivering this, he's genuinely giving me value, and that will continue on. So let's even break this out of like, what if this was a health launch? How would that look different, right? What if you did the same thing with weight loss? How easy would it be to go and say, hey, all you people taking GLP-1s and a fast solution, I don't want you to listen to this. If you're the kind of person that's looking to not work hard and look good and sacrifice your body, your wellness, and everything in between, stop. I want someone that's going to do something different. Today, we're here to talk about how all the hard work that you want to do and everything you want in life is just more of a motivation and a pathway away that you need to learn how to work hard, not to avoid hard work. And that's what this whole program's about, right? That's shifting things. I know we're always like, hey, everyone wants easy, easy, easy. But at the same time, easy, easy, easy has led us to nowhere, except for repeated by people buying the same products over and over again, right? And we just talked about it. He broke the model. Go break the model. tell people almost like, and this was done before because this is basically what was P90X, right?
Yep.
This sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like all of this sucks. Would you
a
like to
CrossFit
go
whole
through
model,
something too? And people like, and you'd get,
Would you
your
like a torn
mom in her
rotator
mid
cuff?
40s.
Boy, would I.
And she's like, I do this with little weights, and they're getting
Yeah.
P90X and vomiting 10 minutes in.
Would you like
right?
rhabdo again?
Never again. Yeah. Just Camo's there.
I was there for
Oh,
that.
CrossFit.
When I got rhabdo with all the, rhabdomyolysis. Would not recommend. Yeah. Would you like to spend a week in the hospital?
Story for another day.
That
All right.
new VSL.
But I think like that's what it stands out to me, because that would be genuine, and that's a message that people are like, no one's saying that right now, right? No one's telling me that. Like, it sounds silly, but like, hey, the fact that you're on this and you're hoping to lose 10 pounds, you're failing at life right now. And I'd like to tell you how to stop feeling like a failure and feel like a winner, but it's not going to be easy. Good, right? And there's messages that are working very well like that right now, because I think a lot of people are unhappy and they're tired of being fed easy.
Yeah.
And so maybe Hormozi didn't sell easy. He sold value. And we could do the exact same thing in any vertical. I don't care if it's manifestation. I don't care if it's health and fitness. I don't care if it's relationships, right? Except be more genuine, be more real, but packaged in a way that we use the same terms and other levers and marketing tricks, but lead with authenticity. I think that would be very interesting for people to start leaning into. So I think that's what's going to win in a world that feels inauthentic all the time. Be the voice that's willing to break through.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to kind of wrap this up, is that if we're going to learn anything from this, this wasn't a 3-day event, Cam, as you highlighted, right? This was 5+ years in the making from all the stuff he's been putting out since gym launch, which is even further back, right? Like, and all the free value he's put out, all the authentic value he's put out, right? He's very firm in his beliefs to a polarizing degree, which I think probably helps him in the long run, right?
Yep.
It's obvious now. And now he's capitalizing on a lot of that goodwill he's put out there and that relationship equity he's built with his audience. What I love too, what you highlighted, was the other people on that launch that he was highlighting. That's something you see in Mr. Beast videos and the Logan Brothers, right? And reality TV, it starts with a core person or people, but quickly the side characters become main characters, and even break off channels that are tied to it, or break off shows, or people are tuning in to watch that one Vanderpump versus the other one. I don't know. And it's
I can't believe I know your reference, because my wife started watching Real Housewives like within the last 6 months, and now I'm very aware of the Vanderpumps.
There's a family tree of reality shows, and they're sort of cross-promoting each other.
100%, right? But you are baking in that it's like, okay, they might not like me, but they might love Layla, and they're going to tune in to me because Layla's going to be appearing, and they're going to tune, and I'm going to be on Layla's channel too, right? So you're able to play not both sides of it, but the audience is able to find who they resonate with inside your brand. So
Almost like, how different is Jesus without 12 apostles?
Right?
It's always a cult thing. But anyway.
In ancient Mesopotamia.
In Sumerian, Texas. But no, you're totally right. Yeah, that's a great ad, is collaboration. It creates more.
I mean, you can look at what we're doing right now on the channel, right? It's like, we want to bring in other BDMs at ClickBank, highlight them better, show hey, we got smart people here that you want to work with, which I firmly believe in, right? So we try to highlight these different ways to kind of build that trust, build that equity in a very authentic way. So I think if you're going to lean into, the hard work it takes to build this over time, what's the long-term vision? I think a lot of the entrepreneurs we work with who are struggling don't have a long-term vision beyond what's the next dollar tomorrow. And they don't really realize that they're not building towards something 5+ years out, what that could be. Because that gets a lot. What I love about this masterclass that we just saw over last weekend is you can see, it's like, ooh, all of a sudden this weird Tetris Lego block just fit into place, and it made everything make more sense to what he's been doing for the last 5 to 8 years. It was like, oh, that was good. It's like, that was really good. Yeah.
It's like watching Memento, or some of you are like, oh,
wow. Yeah. So, any final thoughts here as we wrap up for the audience on the Hormozi 100 million money model launch?
I'll summarize. I think that there's some really great AI breakdowns of that, and it was so funny too, watching marketers as soon as the launch finished, how quickly they would create a product to capitalize. Like, they would create. There were so many AI versions of Hormozi that were trained exactly on the launch to help you understand how to create the same launch, right? And I mean, they were named after Hormozi, and they were all over Facebook within minutes of it ending.
Had
right?
characters that looked like
sales
Hormozi.
page. Yeah,
I'm just an AI model right now. Like Mozi model. Yeah.
There was sales pages.
Obviously
and
not
everything
the
was
best
expensive.
version of the AI.
I know. I don't know how he fills out his shirt as much. I was like, this isn't fitting right. Yeah.
But I guess my point is, I think it's sitting at this table. I think it's fair to say we have 35 plus years of experience between the four of us, and we have onboarded and or built businesses that have collectively done probably north of $1 billion.
Easily.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just a fan I was a business fan, right? I do like Hormozi's content itself,
Yeah.
but
I love
even
Kyle
if you
was
don't,
live texting me through
Oh,
the
yeah,
weekend.
updates.
He's like, this thing happened. This is so cool. I was like, I don't even need to watch the launch. I'm just going to get live tweets from Kyle. This is great. Yeah.
I think no matter where you are at in your business, there's something that you can learn from this. There is a model that is so unique that he just created. And I mean, he flipped the book publishing. He publishes his own book, self-published. So that makes a big difference as well. But he just flipped the model in a way that nobody ever has. He sold mass amounts of books and pulled in so much cash. And if you aren't trying to learn something from this, then you have completely missed the opportunity, more or less.
Yeah. I think my big takeaway is this game that we all are involved in, the marketing game, direct to consumer, online, direct response. So many people enter this room because there's this promise of easy money. But the ones that stay in the room, the people that win, are the ones that show up for the easy and then fall in love with the game and figure out how do I figure out how to fall in love with the process, love with the game, and constant, never-ending iteration improvement. Like that's the thing that was on full display this last weekend, was a master of that craft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was fun, man. Like I think it is the coolest thing about paying attention to just business as a whole. What a fun freaking thing that was.
No doubt.
Like I don't care who you are, even if you're pissed off as hell. Like just go to Reddit because that's where you guys all seem to live. But like it was fun. What a fun thing to see and experience, be a part of, watch history change in front of you. And I would challenge everybody to say, take it and yes, find something to learn. But if you're struggling to learn, go back and look at other times. Find where this has been replicated before. I think that's where this could really start to materialize. Whether you go and look at, weird cult stuff, there's lots of other situations that aren't just that way. You could look at politics. You could look at business launches. There's lots of different opportunities where they might not have hit the scale, but there's times that we see history change.
Yeah.
And go study that stuff and draw it into this moment. And I think one of the coolest things is and I hope the entire teams recognizes that they changed history in that moment. How freaking cool. And it's cool that we get to talk about it and share it. And through hard work and determination, like Cam said, somebody listening on this podcast right now or sitting at this table might be the next person to change history with something they do in business. Hopefully business.
I was going to say, hopefully business. Yeah. I love that. It's not irony, but I love me asking, how is this not sleazy? And then Kyle goes into a 10-minute rant about how it's very much like a cult. And I'm like, don't know if that's driving home. I know what you're going for, but I can't wait for the haters to call out. You said it wasn't sleazy, and then you compared it to cults in the 1950s. And then
I could give you plenty of non-cult examples that aren't sleazy.
I don't believe you. Yeah.
There's plenty.
Sleazy, sorry.
Or I just say this. Sleazy is the art of influence, and it's just depending on if you agree what was influenced
Propaganda.
on, right? Yeah. We all love the propaganda we agree with, and we hate the ones we don't.
I would love to find examples just aren't cults, period. Yeah.
No, but I got to keep on brand. Hormozi taught me one thing. Be your authentic self, Thomas.
Very true. Okay.
I know you're trying to wrap up here, so I'll just add this one last thing inspired by the whole fun part. Well,
I'm trying to, but you're going to ignore it anyway.
I see what you're doing.
Well, you manage me every day. You know, we're a little
quick.
rebellious
Here's 5,000
here.
words. Okay.
One of the most fun things that we did is we put together the spreadsheet to try and reverse engineer the numbers and understand how much, what was the profitability, what was the revenue, what was the breakdown in Affirm sales, which is a buy now, pay later solution, literally just trying to understand everything.
Is that this one?
Yeah, that spreadsheet.
Can we share this in those show notes?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Okay,
It's not
cool.
exactly formatted for easy digestibility.
Even better.
You've
It's got to be hard.
You better
Kyle.
have a PhD in Excel to keep up with.
No,
Kyle's.
honestly, this compared to what you usually put together, this is great. Yeah.
Excuse me.
What a backhanded compliment. That was
Can you explain what you mean?
Yes, meaning that Kyle's usually very overly verbose and trying to digest what Kyle's writing in 10,000 words into like
Okay,
2,000.
well, hold up now, because these people don't know me, so they're gonna get into this and they're gonna be
you.
like,
You
"Wait,
mean-
this is his short version."
No, it's like what I meant was that
It's like
you've actually
300
put
lines.
together a very, like, I think it's great. Like it's easy to read and makes sense. So.
It's a really
So-
nice thing fronted with an insult. He's insultingly complimenting you. It's
If you're
very
gonna
good,
use the spreadsheet,
I think this is publishable. I'm sending it to Dylan. Okay.
you can make it. Well, you're gonna it's view only, so make a copy of it. Yellow fields are things that you can edit. Right, there are things that we knew through 1.6 million books. Sorry, this will end up being slightly longer. There are things that we knew through 1.6 million books because there was a screenshot that was on Facebook from the acquisition.com headquarters about the internal dashboard that they had, live launch data. And so we assumed some of those figures would continue throughout the launch, but then we also had to make some other assumptions. And so just to be clear, some of the things that we knew was revenue through 1.6 million books, total orders, unique customers, ascension rate, which I believe is the number of people who bought the $6,000 option compared to the one bottle option. We knew the number of single book orders and bundle book orders. What we had to assume is the number of webinar attendees, and we kind of used a combination of our experience and vidIQ and attrition, and
I'm gonna wrap this up for you. We made a lot of assumptions in this.
we did. We made a lot of assumptions.
There's a lot that went into
So
it.
yellow
it's fun to
fields-
guess, guys.
Make a copy of it. Yellow fields, play around with those. If you want to try and land on some better numbers than what we did, feel free.
Alex, in the
We had
very
a lot of fun.
unlikely scenario that you're watching this, let us know how close we were on our estimates. Yeah.
We'll tag him. It's cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Alex, Kyle, Cam, Kyle. Oh, you have a lot of alliteration going. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
McMosey. Damn, I want to make McHur. You did the one that we can't say on the recording. That's all I can think of. McMosey. Bring him back. We'll do this once a quarter. We'll bring McMosey.
You perhaps
it.
can't see it, but he has shorts on as well. Really.
And
Stand
And
up.
Crocs.
Come
And
on,
his Crocs.
show us. There you go. Oh, look at that. Look at that leg hair. Woo.
Are we
I
gonna
mean, the
have to-
cheddar
Why
on the
do I do
chest
that
is
to
enough.
myself?
Are we gonna have to quack that part, Dylan?
No way.
Dylan's like, yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you to our listeners for listening and watching. If this is on YouTube, do not forget to rate, review, subscribe. Please review iTunes, wherever you're listening. Comment below. Even if it's hate, we like the hate. It actually boosts our engagement. So thank you if you hate us. We want more of it. No, we
I'd
don't
like some
actually,
more.
but yeah.
I really need
Yeah.
some more self-deprecation.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
Tell us what your favorite cults are. No, but do let us know what
Please
you want to hear
recruit me.
more of. You can email us at affiliated at clickbank.com, which we review the inbox of that sometimes and get back to you as fast as we can, which is not very quick at all, but we do read all those emails. And of course, happy scaling, everybody.
Woo.